everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Shay. I am a full-time reseller on the Poshmark app, and I do lots of thrift-related content. So if you're into that sort of thing, you like watching thrift hauls particularly, I upload lots of those, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below, and don't forget to like. I'm going to get right into today's video. Today's video is going to be the 10 things that you should know before starting Poshmark. So I'm going to go ahead and start with number one. Number one is going to be that you don't need to go out and buy new things in order to be successful and sell things on Poshmark. So what I mean by that is you don't need to go out to the thrift store and buy a new item to list it on Poshmark. What I suggest is to check in your personal closet, to go through your closet and pick out things that you might not wear anymore, things that maybe somebody gave you. I would also suggest asking around your friends and your family. Maybe they have things that they're not wearing anymore and they're looking to get rid of. And I suggest that you kind of collect a pile of things to list that way to start. Number two is going to be Poshmark requires a lot of time. So Poshmark is a very social platform. So in order to really be successful on Poshmark, you need to be sharing your closet or your Poshmark store frequently in order to make sales. So if you're the kind of person who doesn't really enjoy spending a lot of time on your phone or spending a lot of time on the computer, this might not be a good platform for you guys. In that case, I would suggest maybe eBay or something like Etsy, where you can set up your listing and then you leave it and then you just wait for sales. Poshmark is a little bit different. It's almost like Instagram in a way. You kind of go through and share photos, actually maybe more like Pinterest. You kind of like share photos that you like, and it helps other Poshmark people or Poshers. And that leads me right into number three, which is going to be sharing is super important. So Poshmark, like I said, rewards you when you are more social on their app. So sharing is really important. What it does is it brings all of your items that you have listed for sale up to the top of the listings. So say you have an item that you want to sell. Maybe you have a pair of Levi's shorts. Okay, so when you post your Levi's shorts, it initially adds it to the top of the list because it's a new item. And then after that, if you don't continue to share your closet, all the people who have also got Levi's shorts that they want to sell, all of their items go up further in the listing to the top of the listings. So in order to keep your items at the top of the listing, you want to continually share. Now for me, I am a full-time reseller, so I do have time to share. So I share my closet between 3 and 5 times a day, sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on the day. So I find that the more times you share your closet, the more consistent sales you get. So if you're looking to do this as a job, part-time or full-time, I suggest really starting out strong with making sure to share your closet a lot. And I would suggest sharing your closet during peak times, which Poshmark does a pretty good job of sharing with you already. They do what's called Posh Parties, which is a party where you can share your items at peak times during the day to get maximum views or maximum eyes on your items. So that's really important as well. Number four is going to be to check comps. So by that, what I mean is when you want to sell an item, before you list the item, you want to check to see if that item is something that is selling for a high price or a low price, so that you can better decide how much you want to sell that item for or how much you expect to get for that item. So Poshmark has a feature where you can go in and filter from available to sold items. And if you guys want to know how to do that, I can also do a video about that. But so it's going to be pretty easy to kind of decide how much to list your item for. And if you list an item for very high and it's only selling, like say you list an item for like $50 and you check out the comps and it's only selling for like $25, what you want to do is lower your price so that you can kind of get more close to what it's selling for, because that's basically what people are willing to buy it for. So checking your comps is very important. Number five is going to be keywords. Keywords is going to be important for your description. It's going to be important for getting more people to see your items. So just like sharing, what keywords does is it helps you to be more searchable. So more searchable is good because you can be searchable outside of the Poshmark app with keywords. So people who aren't on Poshmark might be in Google search for some, let's see, what do we want to search for? So let's say they're searching for puffy sleeved white top. Okay, great. So they type in puffy sleeve white top into the Google search bar. And as a result, because you have listed your item as white puffy sleeve top, your item comes up. And somebody who might not even be a part of Poshmark might be able to buy your item, and you might be able to make a sale that you might not have been able to make if you had just listed it as white top. So it's very important to know your keywords. And the more keywords you put in there, the more availability there is for somebody to find your item. So I highly recommend adding as many keywords as you can. And number 6 is going to be to do your research. And by that I mean you want to make sure that you're up to date on what styles are trending, what things are selling. You want to make sure you know what brands to stay on top of, because brands' popularity changes very, 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 very fast. So I like to do this by actually watching other YouTubers. I find it very interesting. I watch a lot of what's sold videos. So other people who are on Poshmark or resellers in general will post videos where they share what's sold for that month or what's selling this week. And it's very, very helpful. It really helps me to stay on top of what I will be actually picking up when I go thrifting. Number 8 is going to be to always measure your items before you list them. So what I like to do is I will get all of my things that I'm going to photograph, and I will get them all together, and then what I will do is I will measure them all at the same time. I write all of my measurements down on a sheet of paper. I use like just a lined paper notebook so that I have all of my stuff together, so that when I want to actually upload the items, it's all together, so it's very easy. So why you want to measure your items is because it helps to make sales. So think of it from the point of view of a customer. This customer that wants to buy your item, they can't try it on, obviously, because you're selling it online. So the next best thing that we can do is to share the measurements so that the person might actually have a much better chance of having that item fit them. And again, you can really make sure to add extra things to your description, which will help with that, like whether or not the item is stretchy, whether or not you find that it runs too big or too small for the size. That stuff is all very important extra stuff to help you make sales. So what I do is I will add as many of the measurements as I can. If it's jeans, I do a waist measurement, I do a inseam measurement, and then I do a rise measurement. And sometimes I will do a hip measurement if it's an item that I think needs it. Tops, I do what's called pit to pit, so you go from armpit to armpit. That's your like chest measurement, and then I do like from the shoulder down to the bottom of the hem, and that will be your length. You can also measure your arm length, especially men's clothing. Men have a lot longer arms, and when they're looking for specifically like dress shirts and stuff like that, they really want to know what the length is. And you'd be surprised, a lot of people who are frequent shoppers on Poshmark, they actually know their measurements because they're used to shopping this way, and it's very important. So I highly recommend doing that because it really will boost your sales. Number 9 is going to be take clear photos. So taking a photo can make or break your sale when it comes to Poshmark. The clearer your photo is, and the more people can see, the better chance you have of selling that item. So what I like to do is I like to take a clear photo on a white background or something that is very easy to see. I like to take a front photo. I like to take a back photo. You take a photo of the tag, the inside tag on the back, and you take a materials photo. Taking a materials photo is very important because people like to know what the fabric is made out of, because they like to know whether or not it's something that is either a synthetic fiber or a natural fiber. That's becoming very popular. Everybody is really on the hunt for natural fibers. So I recommend keeping on top of that when it comes to checking out what you want to buy at the thrift store. But so taking photos is really important. There are a lot of people who take photos and they're not selling items, and it's because their photos are fuzzy, their photos are dark, you can't see what's going on. People will take just one photo of like the front of an item. That really doesn't give you an idea. You also want to make sure to take pictures of any details that the item has. So say I'm selling a Free People dress and it has this beautiful lace detail. I want to make sure to take a picture of that lace detail, and it acts as an extra description, kind of like a visual description, and it might help sell my item. So I highly recommend doing that. And also it's very important to take any photos of any damage that the item has, any stains, any discolored spots, any tears, anything like that, because if somebody buys an item and that stuff is not in the description and it's not anywhere in the photos, they will be able to return the item and then you will lose that sale. So it's very important. And lastly is going to be number 10. Number 10 is going to be you don't need fancy equipment in order to sell things on Poshmark. And by that I mean you don't need a fancy camera, you don't need fancy lighting, you don't need a mannequin, you don't need a backdrop, you don't need any of that stuff. All you need is a phone that takes good photos and a place to take those photos. Maybe a nice big window so you have some natural light, and a blank white wall or just a blank wall in general. When I first started, I actually just took photos on the floor. I cleaned a nice spot on my floor and I took pictures on the wood floor. And as long as you have clear photos, as long as you have good descriptions, and as long as you have good measurements, you're still going to make sales and you're still going to sell those items. So I hope you guys found this helpful. And if you did, don't forget to like and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!